Outside the solar system's wormhole, there were 5 groups of warships. Each group had 10,000 warships. The hundreds of thousands of battleships formed a huge encirclement 2 million kilometers away from the enemy. Although both sides were firing at each other fiercely, there were no casualties. Consider the distance and insufficient firepower due to their technology. It was more like displaying a fireworks show than a battlefield. It seems like both were in agreement. In fact, that was the truth. Zhao Yu planned to stall for more time, hoping for the emergence of new advanced weapons from the reputation system. As for the Alliance, they knew about the existence of a Level 3 civilization fighting against the Great Whale Legion. Therefore, they did not dare to be too presumptuous, but they must act according to the will of the Great Whale Legion. A battle with 0 casualties like a movie amazingly put up for half a month. The leaders representing Madu from Command Center and Proxima Centauri finally were sent out to supervise the battle, with an order to quit the child play and begin to launch their full-force attack. What should we do if we are stuck between 2 Level 3 civilizations? Beat me. The Great Whale Legion is powerful enough to wipe us out. We can only follow their commands and fight with all our might. We'll be a goner if we're to annoy the Level 3 civilization hidden behind the solar system. We have no choice. The good news is that for some unknown reason, the Level 3 civilization in the solar system has not revealed their deadly weapon yet. Could we be mistaken? Maybe there's no Level 3 civilization in the solar system? That's impossible. After the destruction of Level 3 warships, Kote's fleet was still under attack. On the other side, none of the warships of the native civilization got involved. Do I need to explain more now? In general, a battle among them would be unavoidable. Under the control of Madu, it was a rare scene for all 5 civilizations to team up. The Great Whale Legion must have figured out our plan of slacking off. Turned out they still need to send their own people. The solar system civilization is definitely fighting the whale army with some strategy, but we can't foresee it. If we destroy too many of their warships, causing them to lose patience, we might be in danger. My suggestion is that we should fight with all our strength with a trade loss ratio of 1-to-1. That is, 1 of ours for 1 of their warships. Only in this way, we might not endanger ourselves. The most important thing is to let the solar system civilization shift their focus. This way, when the 2 sides officially start a war, we will have a chance to escape. That's a good plan. All 5 civilizations agreed to stay low profile with a fair trade of sacrificing their warships with a ratio of 1-to-1. Thus, a strange scene appeared. Once a warship on Zhao Yu's side was destroyed, one of the 5 civilization warships will blindly collide with any incoming attack. Commander, the people from the 5 great civilizations seem scared of us. Every time they destroy one of our spaceships, they let one of theirs be destroyed too. I've never fought with such a high casualty ratio before. Colonel Chu stared at the battlefield with a smile. When they fought the Kote fleet before, they weren't scared of a Level 3 civilization. There was no talk of fighting softly. Therefore, Zhao Yu suffered tragedy losses of 1:1,000 up to 1:2,000. For Zhao Yu, they needed 1 to 2,000 spaceships to destroy 1 enemy spaceship. I see it. Zhao Yu could understand the situation from the constant system messages. War King, destroy 1 enemy spaceship, gain technology point +1. In just an hour, he got hundreds of messages. Eventually, he asked the system to stop some of the notifications. Then, he stored these messages to check when he had time. A month later, more than half of the frontline army's 50,000 spaceships were destroyed. When there were only about 4,000 to 5,000 left, the Alliance sent more troops. This time, apart from the commanders of the 5 civilizations' fleets who kept a small group with them for safety, all other spaceships were sent. The number reached 300,000. Like the front line, the extra troops also kept the losses the same on both sides. The Great Whale Legion didn't say anything. They were happy as long as they saw the solar system people's spaceships being damaged. At the Solar System Conquest Command, let us go back? The leaders of the 5 civilizations' fleets were surprised and confused, looking at Dugo. During this time, the war with the Level 3 civilization allowed Dugo to regain power. He made his arrogant team members behave themselves. Dugo, sitting proudly, smiled. Yes, you've seen the war situation. The enemy is too strong. We can't defeat them with just us here. So, I think you should go back to your civilizations, get more troops, then come back to help." The 5 of them were shocked, looking at each other. They probably have figured out Doogo's real plan. He wasn't really letting them go back to get more troops. He wanted to follow them and find out where the location of their homeland. As for RHE, lack of military strength faced by RHE-5 civilizations belongs to their own problem. As the battleships of the Great Whale Legion have never been dispatched to the frontier, they all stay on this side of the Proxima system, setting up various types of defense lines. From the first day of Alliance, Doogo did nor hide it anymore. He spread our 1,000,000 battleships to set up defenses throughout RHE entire Proxima system to prevent RHE enemy from attacking their base. Leader, if we were RO go back now, the situation of frontline? The commander of the Fire Fury civilization was hesitated, leaving with only 500 battleships as guard. If he were to leave the rest 200,000 battleships and return alone, he feared he would be court-martialed and hanged for his action. Don't worry about the front line. 1 foot 11 inches, keep an eye on it. You can go back without any worry. Doogo spoke with smiling face. His original purpose was to let their more than 300,000 battleships serve as cannon fodder. Naturally, he would not let them off the hook. It took him 2 months, continually creating glimmers of hope for the commanders of the 5 civilizations to achieve this. This strategy was killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Not only could he use the more than 300,000 battleships from the 5 civilizations as cannon fodder, but he could also let the people of the 5 civilizations lead them to their home. All 5 commanders from each civilization realized that they were not going to regain their control of those 300,000 battleships. Under Doogo's arrangement for the past 2 months, all deployment orders must pass through the Alliance. Although their individual fleets were disobedient AR first, after the 5 of their commanders kept convincing them, slowly changed their subordinates' mindset. Nowadays, without direct orders from the 5 of them, all their subordinates started to act accordingly to the Alliance order. With the past practice, all subordinates of the Alliance changed their habit and act with a mindset viewing Alliance order as their Commander 1's order. Moreover, many of them believed it was better to stay alive than dead. The commander of the Fire Fury civilization sighed for being overpowered by Doogo, as he held the right for their survival. Now, opportunity to escape from Doogo and his fleet has appeared. The only thing they had to bet on was whether they could mislead the tracking team sent by Doogo and return home safely. Moreover, it might nor be dead penalty once he returned home safely. With the intel about the situation of solar system along with RHE life threat risk, all this information must be taken back. The 5 of them hinted in their hearts and finally accepted Doogo's offer to return home with an official reason on recruiting more soldiers to support the front line. Excellent. In that case, you all should set off now, Doogo said. They had originally wanted to make some arrangements to retreat with their whole fleet. With Hugo's order, it seemed that their plan has been exposed. Forget it. The few of them gave up. As the saying goes, if a fellow cultivator dies, he won't die. The remaining 300,000 battleships were on their own luck. Soon, under the escort and surveillance of the Great Whale Legion, all commanders of the 5 civilizations, along with small number of their fleets, and returned home through wormholes. Thousands of Great Whale Army battleships were sent after them through the wormhole not long after their departure. A fight between the prey and predator began. Commander, you are leaving now? Colonel Chu was a bit surprised by Zhao Yu's sudden decision to return back to Moon. Zhao Yu nodded as a sign of yes and mentioned about the conventional technology of Panga civilization on the particle black hole enigma can be improved. With the loss ratio was 1-to-1 and the title of King of War, he had earned more than 70,000 technology points during their battle against the Alliance. Together with over 10,000 technology points saved up over the year, he was now able to raise 3 of their foundational technologies to 2.33 and unlock the particle black hole enigma. Does that mean our ships will be able to traverse wormholes? Colonel Chu spoke with excitement. He couldn't help but feel envious seeing alien spaceships moving in and out of Wa'aram hole every time. Exactly. Our ships will also be able to traverse wormholes with this upgrade. As for the particle singularity collapse bomb, it will take some more time. Don't worry, I'll leave behind several quantum realm communicators, so we can stay in touch in real time, Zhao Yu said. Quantum realm communicators? Colonel Chu was a little curious. Could it be some high-tech product? Indeed. Zhao Yu had initially planned to wait until he had higher reputation points to refresh more advanced weapons. When his available reputation reached 3,000 and none of an advanced weapons available for him, he decided not to wait any longer. As most reputation progress bars currently were stagnating, and it seemed like they would not be able to continue growing in the short term, Zhao Yu thought about it and decided to exchange for the quantum interface. At this moment, his reputation was listed below. Reputation, 3,800. Usable reputation, 3,300. Current available exchange rate, Technology 1. Quantum interface, Level 3 using quantum technology to enter the microscopic world. Achieve real-time information transmission across distance limitations. Prestige needed for exchange, 1,000. Current number of civilizations with reputation progress bar, 22. Madu civilization, Level 3 0.001%. Glen civilization, Level 2 0.0000001%. Fire Fury civilization, Level 2 0.0000001%. -1. Mihue civilization, Level 133.2%. Skybat civilization, Level 1037-5%. The progress bar of the Madu civilization had increased, but it was still far from reaching 1% of the activated nodes. The other level, 2 civilizations had no progress at all. All the reputation points came from Level 1 civilizations. Among the 13 Level 1 civilizations, 5 of them remained motionless as usual. It was obvious that the officials had not informed the people of the results of their observations. The remaining 8 civilizations, after more than a year of fermentation, had almost reached their limits. They were generally stuck at the 30% to 40% range and did not progress for a long time. Do you wish to spend 1,000 reputation points to exchange for the quantum interface? Yes. Zhao Yu immediately exchanged for the quantum communication technology. Thankfully, this technology's production line could be installed on the MOT her ship. It was manufactured in just a few days. This was a technology that used quantum technology to allow consciousness to enter the microscopic world for message transmission. After the device was manufactured, Zhao Yu tried letting his consciousness enter the microscopic world once. He discovered that it was a very magical place, with plant-like algae growing everywhere. Some plants were harmless, some had aggressive characteristics, but luckily, when Zhao Yu entered, although his consciousness was also human-shaped, it was protected by a special light shield. In the quantum microscopic world, he didn't need to walk. He could move instantly across boundless space just with a thought. While inside, Zhao Yu couldn't sense any passage of time or hunger, and the longer he stayed, the more blurry his memories became. Later on, Zhao Yu forgot about his identity. He started to think he was part of the surrounding plants. His entire consciousness then changed from human-shaped to plant-shaped and began to grow wildly, until he completely forgot everything. The protective light shield around him forcibly pulled him out of the quantum microscopic world. Once he back to real world, it took some time in gaining back his conscious. This experience, which was just a moment in reality, felt like a century had passed to Zhao Yu, but he could only remember fragments of what he experienced, and he had forgotten most of it. Moreover, his entire being was immersed in a feeling as if he had lost something. It took him a full week to gradually come out of it. Later on, Zhao Yu found out that going in rashly like he did was very dangerous. It was easy to become immersed in it and be assimilated into one of the inhabitants of the quantum world. The quantum interface transmitted messages by using a certain device as an anchor point. Upon entering the quantum world, you use your consciousness to move instantly through space, reaching another quantum interface anchor point to exchange information. And this information, while communicated within the quantum world, is in the form of consciousness. After leaving the quantum world and returning to reality, it needs to be translated in a special way. Otherwise, even the person who entered wouldn't know what they had heard. After understanding how to use the quantum interface and ensuring that he could communicate with Colonel Chu, Zhao Yu set out on his return journey. Under the escort of tens of thousands of warships, he flew towards the moon. Zhao Yu finally returned back to the moon after flying more than 20 days. During this time, he had been closely following up on the circumstances in the front line, with Colonel Chu through quantum technology. With both sides losing nearly 50,000 battleships during his journey back to Moon, the outcome could be stated as unchanged at all. As a result on the battlefield, Zhao Yu successfully collected up to 130,000 technological points. He was close to exchange for the Type 3 particle black hole form. Welcome back, Commander. As soon as he landed, Uncle Da was standing at the entrance of the base to greet him as usual. It's been over a year, and you look the same like the last time I saw you, Zhao Yu said with a smile. Uncle Da, however, looked at Zhao Yu more carefully. Commander, you have more gray hairs now? Really? Zhao Yu replied with doubt.
Yes.
Uncle Da quickly brought a mirror over for Zhao Yu to have a look. Following up, Uncle Da took out a photo that he had left in the moon base before he headed to the front line. Commander, have a look of your appearance before you went into battle. Zhao Yu immediately realized the difference after comparison. Zhao Yu looked bright and youthful, like a 20-year-old young man, with lively eyes in the photograph. But in the mirror, his temples were graying. Although there wasn't much change in his appearance, his eyes seemed dimmer, and he looked much more composed. The man in the mirror looked like a man in his 30s who had experienced a lot of years instead of a year. Yeah, I'm getting older. The pressure he had endured at the front line had been great, and his appearance had changed without him realizing. The medical checkup he did a few days ago showed that he was still healthy, but people will eventually age. Even without any sickness or disaster, Earthling could only live up to 120 years old. After brief pleasantries, Zhao Yu hurried into the base control room. After more than a year, Zhao Yu finally felt he was back to where he belongs. Though the system was always with him, the base was his core. If the base was destroyed, eventually would lose everything. Fortunately, now at level 2, in addition to the moon base, there was also a sub-base on a mothership stationed at the Bell Comet. Base, level 2. Experience, 110800/300000. Technology points, 134,231. He had not been back for more than a year, and the base was still level 2. Thankfully, there were 130,000 technology points, enough to advance the technology level to the mid to late stage of level 2. Zhao Yu had already discussed with Uncle Da regarding the base's upgrade on his way back. Upon entering the base control room, Zhao Yu immediately started upgrading. One by one, basic technologies were upgraded, and various science and weapon-related levels rapidly increased. 130,000 technology points were spent in an hour. Base, level 2. Experience, 240150/300000. Technology points, 4,882. The 7 basic sciences had also been greatly improved. Mathematics, 2.70. Logics, 2.70. Astronomy, 2.70. Planetology, 2.70. Physics, 2.70. Chemistry, 2.70. Life science, 2.50. All the 6 basic sciences had all increased to 2.70 apart from life science, which only increased up to 2.5. He finally met the prerequisite for creating a Type 3 particle black hole. Once the technology points were enough, it could be directly exchanged. Only 60,000 more technology points to reach level 3. With the title of King of War, Zhao Yu was grateful with his choice, which allowed him to accumulate so many technology points in such a short time. Besides, the prestige system's function was beyond his imagination, allowing the exchange of high-tech regardless his base's level limit. The front line could maintain its current status only because of the light needle weapon he exchanged from the system. Unfortunately, most of the progress bars of the 22 civilizations have stopped moving. Zhao Yu knew well that once the enemy realized they only had the light needle weapon and nothing more potent, a fatal blow would follow. Since the prestige system hadn't refreshed more advanced weapons, he needed to be more aware of his decision. If he was able to destroy all the enemy, Zhao Yu predicted that the technology points earned from the battlefield would be enough to upgrade the base to level 3. At that point, they could fight fair and square, and might not necessarily lose to the Madu civilization. Any changes?
No,
In the station of the neighboring planet Alliance, Commander Dugo was having a headache on reporting any good news back to the headquarters. This caused some suspicion at headquarters about whether there really was a level 3 civilization in the solar system, and they demanded Dugo to confirm this matter quickly. In that case, let's send a fleet to investigate into the solar system. Dugo passed down his order. Using the warships of 5 other level 2 civilizations for probing seemed ineffective at all. They would ultimately have to sacrifice some of their own ships. For the initial probe, Dugo only ordering 1,000 warships to enter the solar system. Unlike the 5 major civilizations' stalling tactics, these 1,000 warships were commanded by Dugo to directly destroy the enemy's frontline base. If the level 3 civilization still not responding at all, they went after the Earth. Although it seemed like overkill to send 1,000 of their warships into the battlefield of level 2 civilization, Dugo believed with this strategy, the true player behind the scene will finally decided to reveal themselves. This size of warship. Colonel Chu feeling a bit terrified after another new warships appearing near the Proxima Centauri wormhole. According to the arrival records, it likely must be the level 3 Madu civilization warship. Are they finally sending warships over? In Colonel Chu's anxiety, the warships near the Proxima Centauri wormhole disappeared. There was no doubt that they had begun traversing the wormhole. Prepare to retreat. Colonel Chu quickly activated the alarm to inform his fleet retreat from the frontline base. Once the warships belonging to the level 3 civilization made their move, they would abandon the frontline base and retreat. We won't get far in a day. Now one just hope they won't spend too much effort on us. Colonel Chu was unaware that the level 3 civilization had the ability to accelerate through wormholes. He assumed that the enemy would only arrive a day later. Over 10,000 warships were deployed during their evacuation. Apart from a few manned ships, most were controlled by robots. To divert the enemy's attention, these tens of thousands of warships would scatter to avoid being wiped out all at once. Less than an hour after their evacuation, the gravitational wave detector picked up an additional 1,000 warships.
So fast?
After reconfirm with the gravitational wave detector, Colonel Chu was shocked about their enemy arrival from the wormhole on the neighboring planet in such a short time. For instance, he understood the level 3 civilization's warships were far faster at traversing wormholes than those of a level 2 civilization. Colonel Chu promptly recorded this intelligence, including the recent logs, and had them sent to Zhao Yu via quantum communications. Colonel Chu no longer held out any hope of outrunning them. The number of Rui-type warships was limited, with most stationed far behind the lines. There were only about 10 at the front, each carrying a very limited number of light needle warheads. The possibility of victory with 10 warships against the enemy's 1,000 was almost non-existent. It exploded. At this moment, someone hurriedly reported, "Our frontline base has been bombed." Colonel Chu quickly checked the situation, only to find their frontline base had been blown into pieces. Not only that, but thousands of space fortresses with defense facilities around it had also been destroyed. In such a short time, they must have used light needle technology. Apart from the light needles, there was no other possibility to destroy their frontaline base in less than 10 seconds. Along with million warships of various types, were destroyed completely at the same time. It's over. Colonel Chu sighed deeply, knowing he could not made it out alive this time. Meanwhile, he suddenly noticed that the gravitational waves near the wormhole began to twist violently. What's going on now? Colonel Chu glanced at the detector that was monitoring the situation of the Proxima Centauri wormhole, only to find no changes there. This warship must have traveled from somewhere else other than Proxima Centauri. Reinforcements. Colonel Chu noticed this strange phenomenon and muttered to himself. Near the solar system's wormhole, the newly arrived 1,000-plus warships did not attack them. Instead, after discovering the anomaly in the wormhole, they surrounded it completely. Not their alliance? The solar system was already a busy place. Could there be other civilizations arriving as well? In the current situation, he thought there might be a turning point. If a level 3 civilization comes, he believed that if a level 3 civilization appeared now, the attention of the Madu civilization would be diverted, and they would be able to escape. The gravitational waves outside the wormhole quickly spread out 10 kilometers, and Colonel Chu was curious to know what would emerge. No spaceship appeared from outside the wormhole, and the gravitational waves continued to spread, reaching 50 kilometers in a blink of an eye. Colonel Chu was a little surprised with the shown patterns of the gravitational wave. From his observation, he knew the spread size of gravitational waves was only affected by the largest volume of the traversing warships, not by their numbers. For example, 10,000 battleships were shuttled through the wormhole at the same time. The range of the gravitational wave was still based on the largest size of battleship among the 10,000 battleships, more than 50 kilometers. This has already exceeded the standard of a mothership. Could it be that other types of warships have arrived? Colonel Chu was astonished, while Zhao Yu and others watching from the moon were also confused about the situation at the front line. Outside the solar system's wormhole, all the enemy were all on high alert about it as well. On the other hand, Dugo and the others, who were far away on the neighboring planet, were confused about their stationary state. What's happened to the formation? Looking at the situation, it seems like something is about to come through the wormhole. Is it coming? Dugo narrowed his eyes, guessing that the hidden third-level civilization behind the solar system could no longer sit still. It was about to reveal itself. As everyone watched, the gravitational wave outside the solar system's wormhole grew larger and larger. From 50 kilometers to 100, then 500, all the way to 1,000 kilometers. By this time, everyone was shocked and unsure what was passing through the wormhole. 1,000-kilometer-long warship was simply unimaginable. The upper limit of a second-level civilization warship is up to 100 kilometers long. Beyond that, various factors limit further progress. Therefore, everyone predicted the incoming warship was most likely a true level 3 civilization. Finally, when the gravitational wave reached 2,000 kilometers, a super-cosmic warship as large as the moon appeared. What is this? On the front lines, outside the wormhole, the people on those 1,000 warships were utterly devastated. Looking at the massive object before them, with its technologically advanced appearance, everyone couldn't believe it. Even a third-level civilization couldn't build their warship in this scale. Attack! The commander of one of the battleships gave the order to attack. The other warships followed suit, unleashing a wave of fire. Countless light needles and various weapons burst forth, shooting toward the colossal object. The super-cosmic warship didn't dodge or evade. It just allowed them to attack it. For instance, the super-cosmic warship seemed to become illusory, and all the attacks passed right through it like it never physically existed in this dimension. Following up with their intention to blow up the cosmic warship at closer range, all of the warships rushed toward the super-cosmic warship. Once they have a body contact with the cosmic warship, all of them suddenly vanished like dust in the wind. Right at this moment, an answer came up in everyone's mind: whether in the solar system's 6 major civilizations or the neighboring star system's Great Whale Legion. Level 4. Is a level 4 civilization? Dugo's teeth were chattering. He had not expected that a level 4 civilization was hiding behind the solar system. Run, run, run. He only wanted to escape right now, far away from here. Before the other party could react, he sat on the wormhole and fled far away. After giving a simple command to the army to escape, he was the first to pilot the command ship into the wormhole and escape from the neighboring star system. At the solar system, the super-cosmic warship splitting a small warship that was only 10 kilometers long out towards the direction of the Earth. The super-cosmic warship did not destroy the other 200,000 warships. It emerged into a giant light and disappeared from everyone's sight. The solar system has a diameter of 3 trillion kilometers, with a core area that includes 8 major planets and millions of small asteroids. The mass of the Sun accounts for 99.86% of the total mass of the system. This is why so many planets and small asteroids revolve around the Sun. This phenomena created a question which it is still remain mystery till today. With the mass of the galactic center is only 0.0005% of the Milky Way galaxy. Why can it hold trillions of star systems in place? The theory or hypothesis was carried out by the scientific community until 1937, with the success of the radio telescope, that people gradually discovered a massive black hole at the position of the galactic center. Trillions of star systems within the Milky Way galaxy revolve around the galactic center, largely influenced by the giant black hole. After several experiment and research conducted about the giant black hole at the galactic center, scientists discovered the black hole does not seem to have enough force to attract the entire galaxy's celestial bodies. A guess that the larger the black hole, the greater the force of the black hole was the only explanation to this situation. In the Milky Way galaxy, different civilizations use various ways and terms to divide its structure, such as the solar system civilization, which divides the Milky Way into galactic center, galactic core, galactic disk, galactic halo, and galactic corona. When integrating the structures, the most overlapping part is the division of the galactic center, having an astonishing consistency, all divided with a diameter of 20,000 light-years and a thickness of 10,000 light-years. In fact, a massive black hole exists in the galactic center region. At this moment, a star was being devoured by the black hole. Its light emitted like the setting sun. Meanwhile, several spaceships were flying out of the black hole in reverse. Surprisingly, the force of the black hole has no effect on the spaceships. The black hole was spitting them out instead of drawing them in like the star. Soon, the star near the black hole has now disappeared, replaced by countless spaceships. These spaceships have massive size like a mini celestial star, and even the smallest spaceship was exceeding 1,000,000 kilometers in length. The spaceship in the lead was over 1,000,000 kilometers long. Inside the ship, several giant humanoid beings, 100 meters tall by Earth standards, gather around a table. Are we leaving just like this? What else can we do? Can we ever go back? There will be a chance once we gather all the resources of the Milky Way. The leading giant paused. It seemed that even she herself did not quite believe these words. Definitely. Seeing this, the giant said firmly, "We can definitely go back." She knew that if they gave up now, there would be no hope. Their melancholy was somewhat eased, and they rallied their spirits. "So now, what should we do?" asked the leading giant. "First, we need to find a place to settle our people. Next, using dark matter resonance waves, we'll search for the birthplace of intelligent life. Then, establish the galactic empire and start collecting resources." Soon after, the giants, with a countless fleet, came to a medium-mass black hole not far from the galactic center. Destroy their military power, keep the civilians as labor. Record down the progress of our invasion. Show it to the intelligent beings when we are unifying the galaxy. It will speed things up. On the other side of the black hole, hiding tens of galaxies, billions of warships were ready. Their scouting ship reported a large number of incoming warships. A multi-faced diamond-shaped object, flickering white, entered the black hole entrance. What is this? Just as the battleships were in a daze, the multi-sided diamond-shaped object suddenly began to spin. Similar multi-sided diamond-shaped objects appeared in every corner of the universe in few seconds. Attack. Although they did not know what it was, the highest commander of this civilization still gave the order to attack. Various attacks roared out, none hitting the object. All went through it. It was as if they were not there. Shwa. Shwa. All the diamond-shaped objects connecting with each other by light ray. Things started to change. Ships began to disintegrate, breaking down into parts, then into chunks of elemental matter. Billions of defensive works vanished instantly. Hundreds of millions of warships turned into colorful ore, and the beings within were frozen into ice without protection. Hundreds of billions of humanoid ice sculptures floated in the vacuum of space, without much suffer. The war ended with the diamond-shaped object's disappearance. In dozens of galaxies, all products created by intelligent life reverted to their original form. Only 1 trillion naked humanoid beings stood bewildered on the planets. After a while, a large fleet flew into the black hole, beginning the settlement and relocation work. A new homes constructed by over 1,000,000 giant battleships to keep the original inhabitants in hostage. A few giants stood at the top of this universe, looking down at everything without expression, showing no sign of joy or sadness. The dark matter wave resonance has ended. In the Milky Way, 106,485 places have reacted. We just don't know how many intelligent beings have left their homes. Send ships to issue the notice, and take the converters with them. Soon, more than 100,000 ships, each 2,000 kilometers long, left this black hole space, flying to various parts of the Milky Way solar system. The fleets of the 5 civilizations dared not linger after the giant battleships was gone. They swarmed into wormholes, some choosing to go to Proxima Centauri, others to an unknown galaxy 300 light-years away. Some of the fleet returned to Proxima Centauri and found the place was empty. All the defense structures built by the Madu civilizations were abandoned. The level 3 civilization already flee. What a good chance, let's go. The fleets of the 5 civilizations didn't stay any longer, rushing through wormholes to leave. The entire vicinity of the solar system became quiet all at once. A civilization war that had lasted for more than a year was abruptly ended by a 2,000-kilometer-long battleship's intrusion. At the lunar base, Zhao Yu paced back and forth uneasily. The departure of the 6 civilizations didn't bring him much joy. Instead, he was filled with worry. Where had that battleship, possibly belonging to a level 4 civilization, gone? What was its purpose in the solar system? It's appeared. That spaceship has appeared. It's here, said by Uncle Da. Zhao Yu rushed to the detector quickly. Indeed, they had detected the trace of the 2,000-kilometer-long ship on the outskirts of the solar system. This location, it's very far from us. What are they trying to do? Commander, that small spaceship has arrived on Earth. What? Zhao Yu observed the screen carefully on monitoring the surrounding of the Earth. Not far away from the Earth, the small spaceship that had been separated from the giant spaceship stopped there, just as the two of them were wondering what this small spaceship was going to do. After hovering for a moment, it disappeared in a flash. A few seconds later, the small spacecraft appeared outside the lunar base. Commander, it's coming? Uncle Da was about to say something. What's wrong? Zhao Yu was frightened and quickly asked about the situation. It's gone again. Uncle Da stood up, but it left something behind. Commander, please wait a moment. I'll send a robot over to check it. A surveillance footage appeared outside the base. A 10-meter-long, square iron lump was placed at the entrance of the base. Soon, dozens of Xiaotian appeared and approached the metal lump. Xiaotian circled around it a few times and began to touch it. When Xiaotian's mechanical arm came into contact with the metal lump, a stream of information suddenly released and Uncle Da immediately saved it. Commander, it left us a message. What, the intel? With a wave of his hand, he projected the information left behind by the other party. This was a video taken from the third person's view. In the video, it was an unfamiliar universe with only dozens of galaxies. Countless spaceships stopped outside a space-time gate shaped like a vortex. A diamond-shaped object was delivered past through the space-time gate and appeared in another universe. What is this place? This video clearly displayed every corner of the universe. Uncle Da could choose a random viewpoint and magnified countless times. He zoomed in on a planet to understand the situation inside the planet. One could even see the shape of a grain of sand when Uncle Da maximized the magnification scale. Zhao Yu was surprised to find the planet filled with high-tech products that he believed only existed in science fiction movies. This is a unique universe with boundary. There are a total of 35 galaxies, and total of 188 natural planets including 53 man-made planets. There are about 9 trillion intelligent life forms on these planets, Uncle Da explained. There were about 300 million battleships standby at the direction of Vortex. It seems like they were facing a great enemy. Zhao Yu nodded and let the video continue playing. He was completely shocked by the ending. The rhombus object spread across the entire universe in the blink of an eye, as if it could teleport and duplicate itself. The diamond-shaped object connected together and all the battleships in the universe disintegrated, and billions of intelligent creatures turned into ice sculptures. All the products in this universe have turned into various raw minerals in a very short period of time. While Zhao Yu was watching, Uncle Da had already browsed through the video in advance. The civilization level in this universe might be as high as 3.99. However, that rhombus-shaped object easily destroyed everything they had. According to the information, the civilization that sent out the rhombus object is a level 4 civilization, and it came from Galactic Center, Uncle Da continued. They plan to unify the entire Milky Way. When they discovered any trace of intelligent life, they left a device that can enter the quantum world, and there's also a token anchor point that can be used to shuttle through the quantum world to reach the location they mentioned, Milky Way Empire. A level 4 civilization actually wanted to unify the Milky Way. Zhao Yu found it unbelievable. Aren't they going to destroy us? He asked hurriedly. According to the information, they want us to enter the quantum world in 3 days and use the token anchor point to travel across universe to their location for registration. If any civilization decline to register with the Milky Way Empire, the outcome will be all races of that civilization will turn into raw materials. What kind of material? They never mentioned it, but it shouldn't be anything good. What should we do, Commander? Uncle Da shook his head and asked. The message mentioned that the token anchor point can only be used by one person. It requires the highest authority of our civilization to enter. Otherwise, bear the consequences. A level 4 civilization wants to unify the Milky Way. Zhao Yu did not expect that the cosmic forest law that had prevailed for so long would actually end just like that. He has personally witnessed another history event. Commander, should we send Colonel Chu over to join the registration? Uncle Da said in a worried tone. He won't make it in time. Colonel Chu need more than 20 days to be back. The Milky Way Empire has requested us to report in 3 days. The only living person on the Earth and the Moon was Zhao Yu. The other humans were on Comet Bell, 8 billion kilometers away, and they would not be able to return anytime soon. Although Uncle Da and the others' android possessed high intelligence and own consciousness, for some reason, they were unable to access the quantum world. It was like the quantum world only allowed creatures with flesh and blood like Zhao Yu could enter. Are you going, Commander? I have to go. Whether it's the 2,000-kilometer spaceship that just appeared or the content mentioned in this message, this Milky Way Empire is very powerful. If we don't obey them, Zhao Yu shuddered at the thought of how a peak level 3 civilization with a population of 9 trillion that was 100 times, 1,000 times stronger than them had been destroyed in an instant. They know our location was the biggest threat. Zhao Yu understood that the only way to survive now was to listen to them and figured out how the other party found them at the same time. Prepare the equipment. I'll make a trip to the quantum world in 3 days. Level 2 mission, defend the solar system, completed. Reward received, upgraded to the title of Mysterious Merchant. Title upgrading. Upgrade complete. Mysterious Merchant. Extra technology points can be obtained by trading with alien civilizations. The reward for the mission is an upgrade of my previous title to Mysterious Merchant. Zhao Yu was kind of surprised with no options given after completing this task. He double-checked the benefit give by Mysterious Merchant title and realized it was similar as before. That's all? Was the system playing some tricks on him, was Zhao Yu's first thought. He opened his diary and reviewed the previous records when he first obtained the Mysterious Merchant title. Soon, he found an obvious difference. The previous Mysterious Merchant title had 2 restrictions. Firstly, the technology points received will not exceed the maximum technology level of the traded items, and the second restriction was that it only applied to products, not scientific theories or related technical principles. The upgraded Mysterious Merchant title doesn't have these restrictions anymore? Wouldn't this mean that he could now endlessly earn technology points with just theory or technical principles? Zhao Yu was excited to test out his idea. After feeling joyful for a while, Zhao Yu gradually calmed down. Could the system really allow him to exploit such a loophole? With the combination of Mysterious Merchant and Warlord titles, wouldn't he be able to easily upgrade to level 3, 4, or even 5? Could it be related to the Galactic Empire? The system's reward mechanism often seemed to adjust to favor his situation. The rewards given during previous crises, such as defending the solar system, were all related to the crisis at hand. Zhao Yu decided not to dwell on it. I'll find out what's going on when one meet the people from the Galactic Empire in 3 days. Milky Way Empire. The same group of giants were seated together regarding the establishment of the empire. The only thing of value to us is dark matter. Intelligent life is born from dark matter. To obtain it, we need to use these intelligent beings as base materials, extracting dark matter through converters. Direct enslavement might incite rebellion. The best way is to cultivate agents, letting them enslave their own kind. Among the 100,000 civilizations, the majority are not suitable for cultivating materials. Let's change their systems to a feudal dynasty structure. Galactic Empire will recognizing the highest rulers of various civilizations as legitimate rulers. We'll give the third-level civilizations the title of princely relative. The second level will be dukes and established duchies. The first level will be marquises and established marquisates, and the zero level will be earls, acting as lords. What if they refuses? Those who refuse will have their entire race capture as material for energy consumption. After their discussion, they agreed that the feudal dynasty system was the most suitable strategy. The giants were not wanting to rule the whole universe. What they truly cared about was dark matter. With the minimal effort to obtaining dark matter, it is wise to conquer the whole galaxy. Next, let's talk about how we can maximize the acquisition of dark matter. Although the giants were powerful enough to destroy all the civilizations in the galaxy, obtaining dark matter required some strategy and time. However, he needed to use some methods to obtain dark matter. Firstly, we must prevent wars between civilizations. Secondly, we must demand them offering us the corresponding amount of dark matter each year, and encourage them to increase dark matter production on their own. Refining dark matter requires using life force as materials. Ununited civilization is the best way to do this. The more power given to the vassals to rule internally, the better this separation effect. As long as the vassals do not consider those who look like them as their kind, dark matter production will continue to grow. For these vassals, the population will be a resource, and they will naturally protect and expand the population. Preventing wars between civilizations is easy. We'll issue strict orders and use our military strength as a guarantee. No one will dare to defy us. According to the reports, only about 93% of the civilizations in the Milky Way are still in the Mother Galaxy. The remaining 7% are missing and still follow the Dark Forest Law. They're a minority and won't cause significant trouble. Have you found a way to make those vassals actively increase production? The giant leader questioned the rest. We have some clues. Firstly, these vassals are the highest power within their own civilizations, possessing almost everything. The only things they lack are lifespan and status among other civilizations. Throughout history, rulers have sought immortality. The giants understood clearly that this could apply to the vassals as well. So, we can start by considering these two aspects. For them to purchase our products to increase lifespan, they must trade with us using dark matter as currency. It's inappropriate. A red-haired female giant raised an objection, saying, trading always required a fixed price, and it will limit the dark matter we can earn. Don't worry. My idea is to create a lottery system, putting some technological products inside that increases lifespan. This way, even if they win over the technological products using dark matter, they'll still feel like they've not lost out. What if they lose enthusiasm? To maintain their expectation and will keep drawing. We'll add a safeguard, a mechanism that ensures a lifespan-increasing product after a certain number of draws. The downside will be we must figure out a suitable guaranteed draws. If we exceed their expectations, it won't work. If there are too few, the dark matter we obtain will be limited. That's easy to handle. We have 80 or even 100 kinds of lifespan-increasing products in our hands. The red-haired female giant smiled slightly. We can take one product and break it down into multiple versions. Consider each month as a new phase and shift into the prize pool for each phase. This way, we can stretch it out over a long time.
Brillant, Hong Ying.
I'll leave the lottery system to you. The leader nodded in satisfaction. Leave it to me. I'll have it ready within 3 days. Hong Ying smiled, confidently accepting the task. She had thousands of ideas for the lottery system and could apply them all here. Besides, what if the higher-level civilizations sell them to the lower-level civilizations? We simply won't allow private trading between countries. The leading giant said directly. My thought is that it would be best to separate the lords of different civilization levels. This way, we can avoid many problems. That's easy. When we previously distributed token anchor points, we gave gold, silver, bronze, and iron tokens to third, second, first, and zero-level civilizations. When the time comes, we allocate them in different areas according to the level of their tokens. We've settled the lifespan issue. Now we need to think of a way to create status differences among the lords, stirring up their competition. This competition must not damage the materials, yet it should make them willing to spend a lot on dark matter. Another brainstorming session. Let's create a ranking system. A blue-haired female giant stood up and suggested, rank these lords, and give some nominal rewards or special privileges to those with higher ranks, something that other lords don't have. As long as there are privileges, these lords will definitely compete with each other. When they start competing, we can collect a large amount of dark matter in the process. The blue-haired female giant continued, for example, the top 10 or top 100 could have extra dark matter rewards or extra lottery chances. That's good. Linking it with the lottery system will increase their enthusiasm. I think we could have a virtual battle, letting them scan their real military units into the quantum world for virtual combat, the red-haired woman interjected. The winners gain points, the losers lose points, and virtual combat requires dark matter tickets. It will enhance the importance of war-related technology. One can also put some weapon blueprints in the prize pool. Yes, we can put some weapon blueprints and then create a parts prize pool. Once they get the weapon blueprints, they can draw parts. Once all parts are gathered, they can have a complete weapon production line. An idea just came out from the red-haired woman. As long as they draw high-level weapons, they can win matches and have a chance to rank. At the same time, to mobilize the Lord's enthusiasm, the rewards for high ranks must be appealing, something they can't resist. I suggest aligning it with the lottery pool, settling it once a month. Good. Everyone felt that the combination of the lottery and ranking system would be enough to motivate all the lords to expand dark matter production. In addition, we can add a credit system. These lords are new and definitely don't have enough converted dark matter. By giving them an annual credit limit, they can use the dark matter in advance and pay it off all at once at the end of the year. They plan not to give the actual dark matter. They will lent them with virtual valuation unit, only for use in the quantum world. They requested the lords to be able repaid in one go at year-end. Also, the prize pools and ranking systems for the 4 levels of civilization should be made separately, targeting specifically. Everyone thought for a while longer, but couldn't come up with any new ideas. The leading giant finally announced the end of the meeting. That's all, then. Please finalize the lottery and ranking systems within 3 days. Once the representatives of various civilizations arrive in 3 days, we'll launch this mechanism immediately. A simple little meeting had just determined the fate of billions upon billions of beings in the galaxy. In this universe, the weak never had the right to choose. They could only follow the arrangements of the strong. In the third spiral arm, within a black hole, the high-ranking officials of the Ink Fighter civilization gathered together. Galactic Empire. Really such a powerful? The technology department has analyzed it. The video shows that we can almost confirm it's real. The warship from the Galactic Empire that entered our black hole is definitely real. Everyone fell silent, remembering how that 2,000-kilometer-long warship had invaded. Naturally, it caught their attention, and they sent a large number of warships to confront it, only to be easily defeated. What if we run away? How can we escape? We don't even know how they found us here. Even if we run, if we are caught, our entire race could be turned into material. Material, that word alone doesn't sound good. Yes, our technicians have analyzed it. The enemy has technology beyond our imagination. Besides obeying, we have no other choice. Shall we really allow the highest authority to enter the quantum world? Everyone looked towards the elder, feeling anxious. Although I am the Grand Elder of the Elder Council, officially, the speaker controls our Madu civilization. Let Du Bing go in, said by the elder. At the lower end of the table sat a younger-looking middle-aged man. Upon hearing the elder decision, he couldn't help but agree to it. After all, he was merely a puppet in public. The real power center of the Madu civilization was the Elder Council. He had only joined the Council of Elders because of wanting to become the chairman. Du Bing, do you have anything to say? No, I'm willing to follow the arrangements of the Elder Council, said by Du Bing. However, my son has been missing for 10 days. If something happens to me in the quantum world, don't worry. If Dugo doesn't return, we will arrange for your other sons to replace him. Du Bing heaved a sigh of relief when he heard that. Such a scene was happening in 100,000 galaxies with intelligent civilizations. Most intelligent beings chose to comply, but a small part chose to flee. As a result, they were naturally caught red-handed, and everyone was sentenced to become fodder. In the solar system, Zhao Yu had no such worries about who to send. After all, the tokens and equipment given by the Galactic Empire were on the moon, and within several billion kilometers, there were no other living people. Only he could enter. Commander, I will await for your return. See ya. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. The equipment to enter the quantum world had been successfully installed. Zhao Yu held the token, took a deep breath, and slowly activated the equipment.